Hello, and welcome to The Buzz, where we bring you leaders in dental education discussing hot topic courses and industry trends. I'm your host, Vanessa Emerson, founder of Dental Speakers Bureau. And sorry, I'm turning my volume down. And today I'm interviewing Holly Ann Mitchell. Now, for those of you who don't know Holly Ann, she is a trainer and a facilitator in leadership development and culture transformation. Her expertise in hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming also make her a leader in organizational change. And we are going to be discussing her course, Good Conflict, the Key to Love and Leadership. Now, good conflict sounds like one of those oxymorons, right? So start us off, Holly, with what I would normally ask what's happening in the practice, but I think we've already answered our question, conflict. So help us understand how this course can help teams achieve more harmony. And also, while you're giving us that information, could you help us know how this is different from other courses that people might have sat through before on this topic?
Sure. I find that communication has always been something that I've been fascinated by and drawn to, because when I was a kid, I had a really difficult time making friends and I couldn't really understand it. I spent a lot of time alone and not invited to birthday parties and crying into my pillow and asking my mother, "What's wrong with me?"
That seems so strange to me now because you're just so delightful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My mom, feeling sorry for me, bought me an incredible book when I was 13 years old that changed my life. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I figured out that building rapport, there's a method to it, right? How do we improve the quality of our relationships? Because really it starts with the conversations that we have each and every day. The quality of your conversations determines the quality of your relationships, which determines the quality of your life and your business.
True story. Mm-hmm.
And my mother was a huge impact on me. I remember watching her put 3 kids to bed and then get on the computer at the end of a long day. She was a nurse, so she would work all day and then pick us up, take us to all of our activities. And then at night she was working on her MBA. And my mom's a nursing executive now. And she had a saying called "care enough to confront." And I think that that's really what this course is about. And I love this course. And what's really unique about this course is I invite the participants to bring their significant others, because I think that the content is not only useful in business, but it's also useful when it comes to connecting and having difficult conversations with your significant other, because that's really where we build greater trust, right? The quality of our relationship, when we come out of a tough conversation, we can do anything together, right? Because we were able to navigate that uncomfortable conversation, and now we have deeper understanding of each other's needs and how to build towards a common goal. Like Stephen Covey says, find a win-win, right? So my mom said care enough to confront, and I say he or she who has the most uncomfortable conversations wins. And I think that that's success when it comes to leadership and love.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So really, I see that there's a lot of flexibility on where you could deliver this. For instance, it could be a study club, or it's a smaller venue in a local area where people could come with their spouses or their partners. And it could also be something at a major dental meeting where our partners are our teammate partners. So tell us a little bit more detail around what do we do in this course? I mean, what do you have us doing?
There's a lot of activities to expand your mindset on understanding empathy. And empathy isn't necessarily what would I do if I were in your shoes, but it's what do you do based on what you have endured. That's true empathy. It's looking at somebody else from their perspective, not your perspective in comparison to their perspective. So we do some really fun activities that kind of blow your mind and understand, like, oh, this is how I see the world. And this is how somebody else sees the world. And they're both right.
Yeah.
based on their experiences. So that's a really fun part of the course. But I think that the true takeaways that become valuable for leaders and for lovers is the tools and techniques to have the conversation. How do we have these difficult conversations in a way that makes the relationship stronger and doesn't debilitate our trust and the flow of communication? How do we get stronger through these conversations? So I give them my favorite openers, because I think if you can start with a really good opener, most of the time the conversation will go really well, no matter what the content is.
There you go.
I give them how to provide constructive feedback, right? How to bring up something that's uncomfortable and what the structure of that conversation is,
Yeah.
and how to end it. Because I think if we can put rules of engagement when it comes to having conflict, how do we have good conflict? What does that look like? That people can feel safe, they can feel bonded, and they can really discover creative solutions to problems that might not otherwise have been apparent, because we're able to hold that space of respect and understanding and true empathy.
Oh, I love that. I love how it's flexible for different audiences. You can go to, there's a lot of different interaction and activities and ability to touch and work with the material so that we can put it into use immediately. So we know this is for the entire team. Do you prefer this to be a certain format, like a certain number of hours, or tell us more about that? What's the target for this, the best way to do it?
I think any teams that work together and have conversations on a regular basis, so a leadership team or a department or anybody who's really having to have conversations on a regular basis to solve problems can be extremely effective.
So it's great. So even at its very best case scenario for the intended audience, it would be to come with your team or with, as defined, but you certainly could come alone and be able to work on your own skills. Awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, is there anything that, do you have any parting thoughts on this subject? Anything that we haven't discussed that we should know about this course?
Having these conversations takes a tremendous amount of courage and compassion. And your ability in moments of stress to be able to regulate your own nervous system and step back and be able to observe what's most important here. And what's most important isn't the problem, it's the relationship.
Yeah.
And if you can keep that in the front of your mind, you'll find a way to navigate through, and you'll be better for it. You'll be more connected, because that's really what it's all about, isn't it? I think that's why this course is so meaningful to me, because the only thing that's left after all is said and done, right, when you breathe your last breath, are the relationships that you had along the way and the impact that you made in the lives of people around you. So what would it be like to constantly be courageous, to be connecting with them more deeply and having richer conversations of meaning that will change others' lives and have something that you can leave behind?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely most meaningful. And so many other great positives along the way when you have a dental team that really can communicate at a high level. Everything else works better. Yeah.
It can change your life, right? Any conversation, now you have the courage to be able to go in there, and you have the tools to be able to do it. You feel like a superhero.
Yeah. And common respect for each other. Yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, it's sounds like a great course. And the title of this course is Good Conflict, the Key to Love and Leadership. You can find out more about Holly Ann Mitchell's presentations by visiting dentalspeakersbureau.com. Or you could go directly to her website, which is her name, Holly with a Y, Ann with an E, Mitchell with 2 L's. I learned that from you, .com. Or feel free to reach out to us, info@dentalspeakersbureau.com. I'd be happy to put you in touch with Holly Ann. And Holly Ann, thanks again for being here and sharing information about your course.
Thanks for having me, Vanessa.
You're welcome. And thank you for watching this. And please reach out with any questions. And until next time, be well.